what happens when an algorithm makes decisions that affect your life and nobody can explain how that decision was made. Hello and welcome to Future State Podcast. This is the podcast where technology, law, and leadership meets. I'm Emmanuel, and in each episode, we focus on forces shaping our future and what leaders need to do to understand and navigate them successfully. Today, we are going to discuss something more fundamental. We are going to be talking about trust. Because no matter how powerful technology becomes, societies only function when people trust the system that governs their lives. And as models increasingly influence decision, trust is becoming one of the defining challenge of our time. People struggle to believe anything, and it is even now affecting politics. The question is, what happens when an algorithm makes decisions that affect your life and nobody can explain how that decision was made? This is already happening in 2020. The UK government implemented an algorithm used to make visa decisions. So across our society, their use is becoming more important and it is making decisions that humans used to make. And the most popular among them that I'm going to be focusing on today will be loan approval, insurance pricing, recruitment screening, medical diagnostic, fraud detection, even content recommendation, and so many of government services. As these are going, the AI system that are making these decisions are becoming more complex because it's no longer just some linear regression models. We are now making use of high-level generative AI systems. One thing that is also happening is that automated decisions are becoming more common. It's now looking like everyone is doing it. Because of this, the public concern about bias and fairness continue to grow because people can see these models make decisions with no explanation. And what happens is trust in institutions is declining in many parts of the world. In fact, I would say in all parts of the world. The main thing I want us to understand here is that the challenge is no longer the fact that algorithms are making the decision. The challenge is whether people trust those decisions because algorithms are already denying us mortgage. They're already denying us credit cards. They are already doing a lot of stuff. But the thing is, do we trust them? When a model say, I don't qualify for a mortgage, do I believe that I truly don't qualify? So today, I want to explore why trust matter. Trust is one of the valuable assets in the society. Trust allows people to work together, even to do businesses together, participating in institutions like the rule of law, the courts. We all go to court because we believe that we are going to get justice. And trust is what makes us accept decision. Currently, any decision that is made in a court of law is accepted by both parties. And this is because we believe in the judiciary. And this trust helps us to cooperate at scale. It is because of trust that we pay our taxes to the government, because we know that when we pay those taxes, the government makes use of them in the right way. When there are no trusts, it leads to a lot of problems. Some of them is the fact that organizations become inefficient because people would no longer put in their best because people don't trust the system. And the effect of trust is huge for the government. When people don't trust the government lose legitimacy. That's because the legitimacy of government is the people. Because without the people, there are no government. When people no longer trust the government, there will be more protests. It is very important for government to have that trust in the people. Relationship also break down. Let's use the example of man and woman. Of people be together because they trust each other. Once they no longer trust each other, then the relationship continue to break. Also, when there is no trust, organizations don't collaborate. And when organization does not collaborate, innovation slows. So with all these few points, you can see that trust is highly important. And without trust, it appears that nothing can actually move. Let's use the example of an aircraft. Most passengers do not understand the engineering behind a flight, yet they trust that the aircraft will take them to where they go. They trust the aircraft, they trust the airline, they trust the pilot that most times you won't even see. They also trust the regulators that they will do the right thing. It is this trust that enables participation without requiring complete understanding. When people don't trust the process, they will continue to ask questions and questions and questions because they don't believe it. And many of us has used this trust uncountable time. When we take this back to technology adoption often depends less on capability and more on trust. If you introduce any technology to people, they will only use it if they trust you. And I'll give you an example. Look, if Microsoft, if they put their name on any products, people always try it. And that is because of the name of Microsoft. So when you have name, then and people trust you, then they will take anything from you. So what I'm trying to say is that people do not simply ask if something works. The main question people ask is, can I trust this product to work? So, and when people can't trust it, technically they don't buy it. So that means that even though AI is becoming popular, the adoption of AI will have to do with people trusting that AI will give them the benefits that they seek. So now I will now go to the trust challenge of artificial intelligence. A lot of people don't trust AI. And why do people not trust AI? Let's look at the way AI operates. In the past, traditional decisions will involve somebody you can identify as a decision maker. For example, when you go to the bank and you want to get a loan, there will be a bank manager that will approve your loan. So if you have a decision that you are not satisfied with, you can come back and book an appointment and say, please, can I speak to your bank manager? We are now in a system where if you go to a bank manager, it won't change anything because the model make the decision. Another example, in the past, you have an hiring manager who selects candidates. So if something happens, if you feel that you should be selected and you are not selected, you know somebody that you go to. Now, in the case of AI, you don't know the address of the AI. When doctor recommends treatment, you can always go to the doctor. This is my situation. Can you make some adjustments? But in a case where an AI recommends that treatment, what happens? So in the past, responsibility is visible. You know who to meet, you know who is making the decision. But with AI system, responsibility can become less clear. And because the responsibility is less clear, there is a lot of questions that will be asked will be, why was this decision made? And that is because in the question, there is not enough transparency. So that is why there is the need to know, why is this decision made? If there is trust and there is transparency, the reason for the decision has already been clear, this question will not happen. And also the second question of accountability, because if that is clear, that if it is visible, if the decision maker is visible, accountability will be clear. But in this case, accountability is not clear. So that's why there is another question of who is accountable. And also, can the decision be challenged? There should be a legal way to challenge a decision. But in this case, challenging the decision too might not be clear. And the big one of it all around fairness. So was it fair? And when it comes to being fair, that is a question of ethics. So let me take you back to that job again. Put yourself in a position of someone that's applying for a job. You are rejected before speaking to a human, and an automated screening system makes the decision. Naturally, you might be asking a lot of questions like, what criteria was used? Was the system biased? You can also ask that, is there a way to challenge this decision? Can you appeal? If you look at all these questions, they are all trust questions. They are questions that won't exist if I am comfortable with the process. The argument I'm making here is that trust often declines when decision-making becomes invisible. And with that, we are going to be looking at the four foundations of trustworthy AI. The first foundation is transparency. When you use AI, people should understand when AI is being used. They should know why AI is being used and what role it plays in decision-making. The concern organizations have is that when they are transparent, that people can know the secret of their business. No, but it doesn't require revealing every technical details. What it does require is that you are honest. Another thing that we need to consider is accountability. That is the second foundation. Every decision-making system should have an identifiable accountability. Someone must ultimately be responsible for that decision, not the algorithm, not the software. There should be a person or an organization that is responsible for every decision that AI is making. The third foundation I would like us to consider is fairness. AI systems do not systematically disadvantage any particular group. AI is trained on data sets. If this data set AI is trained on is biased, then AI will give an outcome that is not equitable or biased. So I won't say that is the fault of the AI system. That is the fault of those people that prepared the data that the AI is trained on. And that brings us back to foundation 2, the question of accountability. Because in that space, when people train AI with biased data sets, then they are responsible for the AI outcome. If you have any question, please put it in the chat, please in the comments, get in touch with me, and I will provide more clarification. So another foundation that I would like us to look at is reliability. People trust a system that behaves consistently. When an AI continues to perform day in, day out without making mistakes, then people continue to trust it more. So, and if an AI system continues to produce unpredictable outcome, then it will quickly lose credibility. And it is not just an AI system. We as humans, if somebody tell you that they are coming to your house at 6 p.m. and they arrive 3 or 4 hours later at 10 p.m., at some point when they tell you they are coming, you should just go about your business because they are not going to turn up on time. So people will trust the system if the system behave well consistently. And that is one thing it should be. And in that sense, what I want to say is that trust is built when systems are understandable, accountable, fair, and reliable. All these 4 elements is important for trust to be established. And organizations that go through all these foundations use trust as a strategic advantage. Because when people trust your organization, they always come to you. The challenge some organizations face is that they treat trust as a compliance issue. People only do things because they want to be compliant. And what I would say is that that is a big mistake. When your organization trusts by default, trust becomes your competitive advantage. It means that your organization is always fair, you are always reliable, you are always accountable, and you are always transparent. Let's consider 2 organizations. One is known for transparency, responsible AI use, strong governance, and the other one is responsible with data breach, controversial algorithm, or poor accountability. If you need to do business with them, who are you going to trust? Which organization will customers trust? The customer will trust organization that is accountable, that is transparent. So the question is, which organizations will regulators trust? And even which organization will employees trust? So the organization that will progress in this era of AI won't be the one that has the best algorithm. They will be those that earn the highest level of trust. The one people are comfortable doing business with. The one people are comfortable giving their data. The one people are comfortable signing given contracts. As a leader, there are 3 things that you should do today to ensure that your organization is trustworthy by default. The first thing is that you should audit trust, not just technology. And how are you going to audit trust? You should ask yourself, do people trust our system? Do they understand how our decisions are made? Are concerns openly discussed and addressed? Many organizations don't want you to complain. Some of them don't even have a feedback form. Anytime you have people raise concern, you should treat it with urgency and responsibility, because those are the ways. Trust should be measured alongside performance. Because what happens when people don't understand how your decisions are made, when there are no way to address concern openly, you will end up losing customers because people will find it difficult at some point to continue doing business with you. Some might do business with you if they are stuck, but immediately there is another competitor, you lose business. So that's why you should always audit trust. The next thing that you should do for all your system is to design for externability. where decision affects people significantly, there should be a way to explain that decision. And example of this is hiring. During recruitment, people should understand why they lose their job. When people come for your interview, even if they don't get a job, try to send them an email. This is why you did not qualify. It might be in form of feedback, but always give that disclosure. In healthcare, in public services, when people don't trust the benefit system, for example, it causes a lot of chaos. If you look at the West, there's always complaint about benefit, who is getting the benefit, how much people are getting, who is not working. In the real sense, benefit is helpful for the people, but then when people don't trust the government, people doubt government processes, which affect those people that need benefit to survive. So leaders should ensure decisions can be explained and challenged. It's not just that you can explain it, you should provide a legal means for people to challenge those decisions, especially when they are decisions that affect their livelihood. The third one is ownership. Trust should not just be owned by the CEO or by maybe head of a department. Trust should be everybody's responsibility. Trust should be owned by IT departments, compliance teams, legal teams. Everybody should take part in that because trust is a leadership responsibility because it is the leaders that are setting direction. So when leaders are looking at decision, every major decision they make should consider its impact on trust because trust is what will determine the image of the organization. Throughout history, trust has enabled society to function at scale. Trust in governments, trust in institutions, trust in each other. That is what has been keeping families. And as AI becomes more deeply embedded in society, this is a new question that is emerging. So the question is not whether machines can make decisions, because increasingly they can. The question that is before us is, can we build systems that people trust enough to accept those decisions? And if trust becomes the most valuable currency in this digital age, who will earn it and who will lose it? Thank you for listening to The Future State. If today's discussion made you think differently about technology, trust, leadership, share this episode with a colleague, executive, policymaker, or friend navigating the opportunity and risk of AI. Next time, we are going to explore another fascinating topic. That is the rise of digital nation. There, we examine what separates digitally advanced country from everyone else and what governments around the world can learn from them. Until next time, keep asking not only whether technology works, but whether it deserves our trust. Thank you.